it's a great battle. Last year was the first time we won that matchup in several years. I know Northern Illinois has gone through some changes from a personnel standpoint, but we got a lot of things on our end of that we still need to clean up and get better at. Obviously, deep into our preparation here for Northern, so it's going to be a battle still. Again, they played tough in both of the games that they played against Central Michigan and against Buffalo. They played tough in both of those games against two really good opponents. Both those games were at home, and they got some young guys now that have gotten some experience. So those guys are going to continue to get better and improve. So for us, obviously, we want to clean up the mistakes that we had in last week's game, but we got to go out and we're going to have to execute at a high level because it's going to be another tough matchup here. And the Bronze Stalk trophy is at stake, and it's really important, our guys and our program, to make sure that we put two games together in regards to that, and we want to keep that trophy here.
Okay, we'll take questions now. We'll start with Ian Hansen, Daily News.
Hey, Coach, do you have any updates on, I believe Todd and Holt went down with injuries, and anyone else who might be hurt or in jeopardy for the game?
Yeah, Anthony came back in the game last week after he went down in the first half, was able to finish the game. He's going to be fine. Bumps and bruises. Unfortunately, we'll be without Trevor. He had an Achilles injury, when it happened in the game there. So we'll be without him. But his teammates are going to do a great job of supporting him as he goes through the recovery process there. Everybody else in the game, just, bumps and bruises, and, they've done a great job yesterday and today trying to stay on top of the recovery piece of it to try to get themselves back to full strength. But we anticipate having everybody else back and available in the lineup.
I thought it was on you. How do you not overlook a team like Northern Illinois, considering they're 0-2? You guys are coming off of this, big win against Eastern Michigan.
First, obviously our goal is to get to 1-0, but there's no way to overlook Northern Illinois. I don't care what's happened the previous two games. That was our first win last year in 10 tries. And so there's nothing really that needs to be said to our football team other than that. They've really controlled for several years this game and the Bronze Stalk trophy. So there's not a lot that needs to be said. Our guys know that. We've got some guys that have been here. We think back to a couple years ago. Some of these guys, their first experience was at Northern, and that game was not pretty. Back in 2017. So our guys know that are on this football team. And so we're motivated. There's not a whole lot that needs to be said. We got goals to get to 1-0 this week, and we know we got to bring our best each and every week in order to accomplish that, because this is a great conference from top to bottom. And regardless of anybody's record through two games, they're going to work on getting better, making improvements to what they need to work on. And it's going to be a battle and a war, and our guys are preparing themselves for that.
Go to Connor Smith, Daily News.
Hey, Coach, I know you were just kind of talking about, some of the challenges that you're expecting with Northern Illinois, but going back to last year's win, I believe your first time beating the program since 2008, being able to play them at home next week, what type of confidence looking back on it does that give you heading into this week's game?
Yeah, there's nothing better than playing at home. And, our guys know that. We got to take advantage and we got to make sure that we protect our home turf here. So, the great thing is that, the day before the game, the day of the game, our schedule's obviously much more consistent when you play at home here. We're not traveling. We're not worried about any of those things from a logistical standpoint. So our guys know the routine now, how things have changed based on COVID. And, we don't stay at a hotel anymore the night before games. And obviously we already played a night game, and the guys were great with their preparation leading up to a night game there on Wednesday night. So the good thing for us, the schedule will be very similar this week and how we prepare, and then what game day will look like in the day before the game. So, but we love playing it at home here. The crowd was great last week. Obviously, I know there was only a certain number of tickets and people allowed, but the crowd was great. And I know our players appreciated that. We appreciated that as a staff. I certainly appreciated that. And we got to make sure that we take care of our home turf here, and guys are looking forward to it.
You began the season at Miami, Ohio last week, and then the Bronze Stalk Trophy battle this Wednesday against Northern Illinois. Having two rivalry games in 3 weeks to begin the season, what does that mean to you as head coach?
these are the games, just little added motivation. Obviously it's a trophy game, and it's been established, it's been around for several years, and Ball State needs to make sure that we keep that trophy here. Obviously, guys know what's at stake from our program. Guys know what's at stake from their program. So certainly adds to the motivation of it. But again, we got to play our best football, and we still got a lot of improvements to make, and that's the goal. We got to keep getting better each and every day, and we know what's at stake. Obviously, it's the opportunity to go 1-0, but we got a lot of work still between now and then, and our guys know that, hey man, we got to start that process all over again, which our guys have already. We got to make sure that we make the most out of the days that lay ahead here to prepare.
And I know I was talking to about him the other day, but having Brandon Martin back on the field, he had 15 tackles the other night. How happy does that make you as head coach, knowing you have that trust and having his presence out there consistently?
I'm so proud of that guy. Brandon Martin is obviously a special young man, tremendous leader for our program, tremendous ambassador and representative for this university, first class in every way, shape, and form. And he's been through some adversity here in his career at Ball State. He's having to battle injuries, and he just keeps coming back, and he just keeps getting back up. And whatever happens to him, whatever hand he's been dealt, he overcomes it. And he's as mentally tough as any young man that I've had a chance to be around. I'm so happy for him. The most important thing to him is winning, and whatever he has to do, whatever role he has to play to help our team accomplish a victory, he's so unselfish. And nobody works harder off the field in the meeting room. Nobody works harder in the weight room. He's always in the building taking care of himself, and I'm so happy for him. And it was so great to see his production the other night, and to keep the defense and the troops and everybody together on the sideline, staying together through the ebbs and the flows of the game. So couldn't happen to a better young man. And obviously I'm anxious to see him just keep stacking days here and keep stacking games. And, love the young man, and so happy to have an opportunity to coach him.
All right, go to Jordan Gusky, the Star Press.
Hey, Mike, I know last week you mentioned that Luke Martin had a medical disqualification. I was wondering, was that something that was determined earlier on this offseason, or were you all hoping as time went on that maybe potentially that wouldn't have to be the route you all had to take?
Yeah, always hopeful. Luke, even going back to last season, he just was battling some back injuries, and, he was playing through it. He's tough, and obviously he'd do a great job of trying to take care of his body through the week so he could be full strength on game day. And, as the off season unfolded, and, we never really had spring, so we weren't really sure, early in the process in the off season without being able to practice, how he was going to respond. I mean, this is something that's just gradually, gotten worse over time. And so, he started out, once we got to so-called training camp there in August for a few days, he was on the field, but certainly we never got into full pads then, or never got into where we were ever working O-line versus D-line or any team period. So once we got, on the field, when we started our preparation here for the 6-game season there, and it just got on the field and just was not really improving. And so unfortunately, the determination was made through the training staff and through Luke and his family that, it was in his best interest just to not play the game. And so we miss him, but he's been around. He's been involved still at practice, helping out in whatever capacity that he can. And so it's been hard for him. Certainly we miss him, but he's still a big part of our program and still a big part of our family.
I know last year Isaac was someone, after he suffered his injury that kept him out for the year, he was someone who was involved as well. Is Luke's involvement similar to that? Is there something very specific that you're having Luke do?
No, just very similar to that. With the whole COVID situation, we've been shorthanded with, help in many different areas. And so he's helping out. Obviously, if anything he can do to communicate with the younger offensive linemen, maybe help those guys out. But, he's just been with us every day in practice, and obviously primarily focus on helping the younger offensive linemen with preparation and technique things, and just, been there to help Coach Johnson in whatever area he needs.
And was this something that you all had to approach him about? Like, hey, Luke, do you want to be involved in this way? Or when this determination was made, was he like, no, I really want to do this?
No, when I had a meeting with him and the determination was made that he was obviously not going to continue to play, I just told him that, hey man, I know, you might need to take some time here, but I just want you to know we want you to be involved and want you to be around. And if you want to think about it, talk to your family and all that, and just communicate back with me so we can move forward here. If it's something that you want to do to make sure that we have a role for you, and you know that you're a big part of what we're doing.
And then moving to another topic, I know Caleb on Wednesday mentioned that he had a young son that was going through some had surgery 2 days before Miami. I guess being a father yourself and having Caleb, have a son this year, Jalen Turner as well, become a father this year. I guess is there any time you take to sort of help them through that? I know coaches in some ways are seen as father figures, but is there anything more you do when you know that a couple of your players have become fathers as well?
Obviously, when you become a dad, man, there's things that happen with your kids, and whether they get sick or whether something happens, and you want to make sure that you're there for them. And so, just making sure they know that if anything along those lines happens, they have my full support. And just let me know, because obviously there's some things that when you wake up out of the bed in the morning, you certainly don't know for sure whether an accident or your son might fall, or your daughter might fall and get hurt or something like that. So just making sure they know that, all you got to do is communicate with me. I'm here, and I know the challenges that go along with raising a child. So they know that I got their back, whatever they need, and I've been proud of those guys for how they've handled it. That's a lot of responsibility to take on, especially when you're in college, getting your education and you're pursuing your dreams and playing a game that you love. And those guys have been awesome about embracing the fatherhood, and they've done a great job with that. But they know all they got to do is come to me, and I support them 100%, whatever I can do to help them.
And then last question that I got, just obviously, and you were alluding to it there. I mean, being in college is enough of a responsibility. Add on being a student athlete, that's an even greater responsibility. And then you add on being a father, which is probably bigger than both of those. I would imagine. How have you seen them both? Sort of weigh those different responsibilities, especially considering these are two guys who this program relies on a lot, for what they're able to do on the field.
They've been unbelievable the way that they've handled it. You talk about timing, both of those, happened right before the season started, if you will, where, they both became dads. And so I've been very proud of how they've handled it, very mature, obviously embraced the responsibility, and couldn't be more proud of how they both handled that so far. And I think it's helped too that they've had an opportunity to talk to some of our alums here, from the years past that were maybe in a similar situation as they were, whether it was their junior year in college, senior year in college, where they became dads also. And I think it also helps, and it's a comforting feeling knowing that it can be done. And obviously, I'm proud of how they've approached it in a very mature way. And those guys are going to be great dads. They're very loving individuals, and they love their teammates, and I know they love their children. They've been awesome. It's been remarkable to see how they've approached it. And
Thanks, Mike.
thank you.
I think we had one more from Ian Hansen.
Yeah, so kind of going back on Northern Illinois, can you talk about their strengths that you're kind of preparing for? And then you say, your team has a lot to improve. Can you kind of talk about those as well?
Yeah, you talk about Northern Illinois, and just starting with them from an offensive standpoint, they got a lot of weapons. They got a good receiving core. They got a quarterback that's played a lot of football. They got a really good tight end. They've got some weapons. They've had some turnovers that have taken place through the first 2 weeks that have kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit. But they've got weapons. Northern's always had weapons. They've got weapons. If you flip over to the defensive side of the ball, they're playing some young guys. They got 5 starters in there that are freshmen. So they've had some turnover from a personnel standpoint. But those guys are extremely talented, and you can see that on tape. And they're going to continue to get better. It's one of those teams, man, that even though the first 2 weeks hasn't gone the way they had hoped, there's still enough good stuff there on film when you go, okay, Northern Illinois is still extremely talented. They've still got a lot of weapons. It's a team that obviously we got to do a good job on our end coming out. We got to get off to a good start in the game. We got to execute. And, kind of piggybacking on your other question there, we had too many turnovers in the first half last week. 2 turnovers, too many penalties, gave up too many big plays from a defensive standpoint. So we got to get those ironed out. Obviously, week to week, just because you do something well the week before doesn't guarantee you do it well the next week. You're on tape now, and you've got tape out there about your players and your personnel, any new additions. So, we got to know that, and our guys do. And so we got to get back and, clean up some of the mistakes that happened, especially there in that first half. And we got to strive to play a complete game. And our guys, are aware of that. They know that. We prepare for that. And so, but it all starts with preparation and then getting back out on the practice field and making sure that we attack our weaknesses and improve.
All right. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate you joining us today, and good luck this week against NIU.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right. Happy now to be joined by Antonio Phillips. Antonio, thanks for being with us this morning. We'll get to some questions for you, but maybe just start by taking us back through that feeling of beating Eastern Michigan here on Wednesday night.
Thank you guys for having me first off, but man, no other feeling like it. A win's a win. No matter how you get it, you win by inch, you win by a mile. A win's a win, and that's what Coach Neu preaches to us. And wins are tough to come by, especially in D1 college football. And so, I'm glad we got to enjoy that. A good win, a good solid win with our team, with our home fans and stuff, and protecting our home turf.
All right, we'll start with questions here from Connor Smith, Daily News.
Hey, Antonio, this is Connor Smith from the Daily News. I was just curious, with you being a senior, at the cornerback position, and with having AJ Uzodinma under your wing for another season, in what ways have you seen him develop so far over these past few games and your off season?
Well, AJ is unique in a way that AJ never really played corner before getting to this D1 level. In high school, AJ was really a receiver, so he's unique in that sense that he has some wiggle to him. But I've really seen AJ develop over these past years, and really over the last year when we really, kind of connected more over the summer and stuff. He's definitely gotten bigger. He's more physical, and he knows he could be more physical. So he's really on that, coming up, making more tackles and stuff, getting his hands on guys, and using his physical structure to kind of play his game. AJ has always had great ball skills, but he definitely improved on that even more. His IQ too is through the roof. His IQ has definitely gotten better, and just seeing that throughout film and practice and gameplay or whatever we do, I can tell AJ has definitely stepped up to the role he was asked to perform.
And I know you've seen NIU a few times before. They're, obviously a very young team. They lost some key pieces over the offseason, I believe. But even with that, what type of challenges are you expecting from the Huskies this upcoming Wednesday?
Well, I expect them to come out with their best punch. I feel like as a team, we always get everyone's best punch. So I definitely expect them to come out with their best punch. I expect them to look over the film and figure out what they think they can beat us at, and then we're gonna do the same. But as far as that, we're going to start watching NIU today. So I haven't seen too much of them this year, but like you said, I guess they're a young team this year. I didn't know they lost that many pieces, but I guess so. So we'll start watching more of them today, and then I'll be able to kind of see what game plan we're gonna approach with it.
All right, thanks.
We'll go to Ian Hansen next, Daily News.
Hey, so basically, Northern Illinois coach said that they have a lot of really good offensive pieces. Can you kind of talk about the emphasis of trying to get that first interception of the season and just getting more takeaways as a defense?
Yeah, I'm not really worried about the interception. Those will come. Those will come as we keep playing and stuff. But I definitely want the takeaways for our defense as a whole. I feel like we need to step up in that sense and start creating more takeaways, start creating more turnovers for our team. Offense can do it all, but especially our offense. But we want to help them out in that sense. But like I said, I'm not really worried about the interceptions. They'll come. as the season keeps progressing and stuff, and as we see different receivers and different looks and stuff. So I'm gonna just be positive and keep trying to do what I do can help my team.
Okay, go to Jordan Gusky of the Daily News. I'm sorry, the Star Press.
I don't work there. Hey, Antonio. I know on Wednesday, Caleb talked about having a young son, and I know you both came in the same class together. I don't know, how personally close you two are, but he talked about how just what his son was going through. I was just wondering, I guess, what have you all maybe done as teammates to help him through that? He said that you all have been really helpful in helping him get through these last couple weeks.
Yeah. So Caleb Huntley, like as you mentioned, we came in together 2017, which man flew by. It seemed just like 3 short years ago, but man, yeah, Caleb Huntley, he really is each and everyone on the team's brother. He acts that way. Caleb is one of the most genuine person I know, not just on the team, just in life, man. Caleb will give you the shirt off his back, and so when we found out he was having a son, that's like nephew to all of us. So we helping any way we can. Caleb, he genuine, but he a stand up guy too. He ain't gonna ask for your help, but we helping any way we can. We do things like diapers, stuff like that. But as far as when his son was having the surgery, we was just there for him and keeping the spirits high once he was in the facility, because we know he got things to handle off the field also. But we know he's gonna bring that same energy and effort every day. I saw some mention earlier in the week that Caleb Huntley only knows one speed, and that is true. Caleb Huntley does only know one speed, and that's full speed. So we know Caleb gonna work hard and give us everything he got, regardless of what's going on. So we just tried our best to be there for him, man. And that's all we can do at that point and at that moment. And keep his son in our prayers. We call him Lil Duke. He a junior, so he Lil Duke to us nephew. But we go over there, we hang out with him. He young right now. He think like 3 months, something like that.
Yeah.
But he's stout. He a big baby, big old baby, just like his dad. So man, yeah, we just be there for him. Whether that be in the locker room making jokes, dancing, just being us. And you truly don't know how much that means to someone, because I actually was going through the same situation a couple years ago, not with me having the same thing, but a tragedy in the family, and my brothers around this facility pulled me through, and just was there for me. You truly don't know how much that helps, just being yourself. So that's what we have done for Caleb, just off of that hand, and was doing things we regularly do.
And I know him and Jalen both had kids this year, both new fathers. It's just obviously, and I asked Mike this as well, but just being a college student's responsibility enough in itself. Then you add on being an athlete on top of that, and then you add on being a father, which I would imagine is more than both of those in many ways. How have you seen both him and Jalen just acclimate to that new responsibility amid that, and also just being huge parts of this team as they both are?
Well, Jalen and Caleb, they were both mature people before any of this happened. But I've definitely seen them just step up even more and mature even more. Caleb, I'm sure it has been mentioned that Caleb has had great games these last 2 games for us, and I know he's gonna keep it up because he come with that same energy every day. So I know he's playing for something more in the back of his head, in the back of his mind. When he strap it up, he's playing for something more, and that's his son and his family, and try to be able to get to that next level, which I know he has aspirations and dreams of doing. And JT, Jim Turner, I just see him. He always a funny guy in the locker room, but he got a matureness about him that really lingers around the locker room, I guess.
Thanks, Antonio.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Antonio. Appreciate you taking some time for us today. Oh, anybody else have a question for Antonio while we got him? Okay. Thanks, Antonio.
Appreciate you
Good luck
guys.
this week.
Thank you.
Caleb Huntley with us here now. Caleb, congrats on a big win over Eastern Michigan the other night. if you could just kind of start by taking us back through that game. Actually, if you could do one thing for me and kind of tilt that screen down towards you a little bit so we can see some more of you, that's perfect. Yeah. Take us back through that game and kind of what you saw that made things open up for you so much against Eastern Michigan.
I just seen that the O-line was doing a good job of firing up the ball and just really making holes. So they really set that up for me. They did a good job. And along with the play calling, Drew doing his thing and the receivers doing their thing as well. And the jet game was going good too.
Okay, we'll take questions for Caleb if somebody wants to jump in.
Caleb, so I know you talked about in the press conference last game, like you can't gloat or get, too happy about those kind of performances. Can you kind of talk about the focus this week to not let that happen?
Focus would just be to, keep working, do the little things that coach asks us to do in practice and just stay with the same plan we've been going with. Like everybody's been working hard every day, so it's not gonna be like any difference of just because I had a high performance.
I guess I'll jump in here. Sorry, Connor. Caleb, I know Luke isn't able to play soon. He had to take a medical disqualification. He's going to be one of your key offensive linemen this year. Just in what ways have you seen him, still be involved, still be around the team, even though his career was cut short there, unfortunately?
He stays with a positive attitude despite that bad news happened to him. He's actually kind of a good coach, but like I talk to him like every day on the sideline. He's saying positive things, keeping everybody uplifted, and I feel like that goes a long way.
Thanks, Caleb.
Hey, Caleb, this is more of just a general question, but I was talking to Coach about this. Beginning the season at Miami and now having NIU come to town, your second rivalry game in the past 3 weeks. What does that mean for you in the shortened season?
It means a lot because every time we go against them, it's always a good game. It's always a hard-fought game, and it always come down to the wire. So I feel like if us, the guys, get back and have a good game plan, we'll have a good game against them as well.
And I know with, you being a father now, having your son and, the surgery and everything that he's gone through, what does it mean to have these teammates? I was just talking to Antonio, providing that support to you on such a consistent basis.
It means a lot. We came in together. Most of us is, super tight. Like we all locked in. So just to have that support system and have my back when I'm going through stuff. And the same with them. Like if they're going through something, we can always lean on each other. So it's definitely all love.
Caleb, what stands out to you as you look back at last year's game at Northern Illinois, a big win there, and kind of a sloppy day, and the team really relied on you. What stands out in your mind the most about that win?
I would say just our resilience, our ability to bounce back. Like, cause we were down at some point, and then we just clicked and got it all together. But this year, I know we'll all have everything together so we can get that win and keep that trophy in Muncie.
Great. Any other questions for Caleb while we have him here? All right. If not, thank you, Caleb, for joining us today. We appreciate it, and good luck this week against Northern Illinois.
Thank you. Enjoy your afternoon.